I hate to shop. Anybody that knows me will tell you that I just loathe it. And when the internets came along and you could actually go online in the comfort of your own living room and say, oh, I'll take that, I'll take that. And then when Amazon came along and say, well, I'll take that and I'll send it there, I'll take that and I'll send it there. That was like, I don't know what it was. It was some sort of blessing from heaven for me. Because I just don't like to shop. But there are a lot of people that do. And some like to shop not just at this time of the year, they like simply to shop. And some people shop because it makes up for something else in their life, because something else in their life may not be going so well. And like most addictions, when things aren't going well, I shouldn't say most, like some, you look for ways to fix what's not going well in your life. And if you do it enough, you become addicted to it. And I found this interesting. There was a study done, and it found that 1 in 20 adults develop an addiction to shopping. Now, that doesn't sound like a large number. But anecdotally, you know somebody that's like that. They had a fight, bad day at work, something didn't go right. I'm going to go shopping. And they go out and maybe they just blow off steam inside a department store. Maybe they actually go out and spend money on something if it's some way to make this a little bit better or that a little bit better. Somebody that knows all about this is Melissa Caldwell-Engle. She is an addiction expert. She's standing by in the AcuteHearingCenters.com hotline. And Melissa, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. How are you on this Wednesday?
Just fine. How are you?
Oh, if it's any better, I'd be triplets. That's how good it is for me. You know how that goes. But seriously, there are various things that people can get addicted to, and not to make light of this, but not unlike some sort of drug or alcohol or anything else, shopping is an addiction for some people. And when you're addicted to something, it means something else isn't going particularly well in your life, right?
Correct. Absolutely. We talk a lot about addictive behaviors is when we're seeking something on the outside to make us feel better on the inside. So it's looking for an external solution to an internal problem. And you did a good job kind of describing some of that. It can be feelings of loneliness or emptiness. It can be a hard day at work. It can be insecurities. But there's some uncomfortable feeling resonating inside of us that we just don't want to have to look at or deal with. And it's just so much more fun and feels so much better. And you can just kind of bury all those yucky feelings when you get the next brightest, biggest, shiniest thing in your hand.
It's an escape from reality, I guess, is what we're talking about, right?
It's escape from reality and the feelings that reality is forcing you to have to feel.
So you feel maybe this urge to do something to allow you to escape something bad in your life. And okay, some people choose substances and things like that. Maybe in this case you choose shopping. But there has to be a certain point with all kinds of addictions, and certainly in shopping, where you may have a problem. I related a story in the last 20 minutes. Is there was a woman that was on my street when I grew up, and she was always carrying bags up the street, whether it be groceries or those bags that you get at department stores. And finally, one day I said, can I help you carry some of these bags? You know, I felt badly for her, and she said, sure. And we went to her house and brought the bags inside, and the inside of her house looked like a department store. Everything was folded neatly. There were sweaters here, dresses there, and it was just her and her husband. There couldn't have been a need for any of that stuff, which I guess gets into hoarding. But my point being is that sometimes that's when you do things like that, or you choose alcohol or you choose drugs, it's sort of a not just an escape, but maybe even a validation that you can do something right. And maybe for some people, it's shopping, right?
Absolutely, and it's for some people it gives them a sense of worth and value. So if you have a fancy sports car, you know, if you have designer handbags or these shoes, they equate their own personal value with the value of material items. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different things going on, and what you're referring to is called process addictions, where you get addicted to the process. So it can be, like you said, it can be shopping, it can be gambling, pornography, sex. There's a lot of different processes that we can get addicted to. And you've really named them off. It's about trying to have a sense of feeling good about yourself because you don't feel good. So there's a worthless feeling on the inside that you're not connected to and you don't know how to deal with. So the more you own, the greater value you feel that you as a person has. Yeah. So there's that piece of it. And any other uncomfortable feelings. So there could be situations where you have a stressful day, something happens, and some more uncomfortable feelings come up. And if you don't know how to manage those, you're just going to be driven to distraction. And our world is, the more convenience that we have, the easier it is to fall into addictive cycles and addictive patterns, because it's at our fingertips.
So you said it's the process. It's not necessarily, hey, look what I bought. It's the process of being able to go out and do that, or whatever kind of endorphins you get released in your brain through the process of wandering through an aisle and buying something. It's not necessarily the fact that you've got this. It's the fact that you went out and actually went through, I guess, the adventure of doing it, the old enjoy the ride, and not necessarily the destination you get to.
Exactly.
Wow.
Agreed. I mean,
I could be an addiction expert.
Yes, you could. You understand it very well. You're explaining it beautifully. And we all do it a little bit. I mean, I kind of joke and say, well, if the shoes are half price, it's not really an addictive pattern, because we all have things that we do.
However you want to rationalize it, just rationalize it anyway. You'll be fine. Yeah, okay. I got you. But that's what you say in your own mind. Well, look at this. Or, if somebody buys something, look at the money I saved on this. Well, did you need this? No, but look at the money I saved on it. So how do you know if you got a problem? I suppose that's it. We can laugh at it, and it's certainly not quite as life-threatening as cocaine or alcohol or something like that. But, I mean, there has to be a red flag that you have a problem with shopping addiction. What would the red flag be?
Well, the way that I help people understand, because people will ask me, they'll say, well, shoot, you can get addicted to anything. You can get addicted to exercise. You can get addicted to work. You can get addicted to things that are healthy. When does it go from healthy to unhealthy? And my definition of an addiction is a pattern. It's a pervasive pattern of avoiding feelings. And typically, if you start using these processes or these substances to avoid your feelings, you're going to have to do it more and more frequently, which is the addictive cycle. And so you'll start seeing people where they are financially struggling. I mean, it's kind of like gambling, right? They can't pay their bills because they have spent money elsewhere. So when you start finding yourself, it affects you financially. Your home life, being able to pay your bills, the stress that it's putting on you, worrying about all of this is going to affect your relationships with your spouse, your children, your job, your career. You'll start to see this. You hopefully catch it early on, but the ripple effect of an unmanaged addictive pattern, it spills over into all areas of your life.
Melissa Caldwell-Engle, our guest and addiction expert. We're talking about shopping addiction because here it is. It's the holiday buying season. So how do you avoid this? I mean, do you really need to go get counseling if you find yourself spending a lot of money on things either that you don't need or gifts for people that you haven't seen in 5 years that you want to send to somebody? Do you really need counseling for this?
Well, if you can set a budget, my answer would be you set a budget. If you can stay in that budget, and that budget is a reasonable budget, and you can stay within your budget, that's the goal. But if people continuously come outside of a budget that they know is not going to be sustainable and they cannot rein it in, that is proof to me. That lets me know there's something deeper. There's more of a psychological need that they're going to have to address because they can't control their own behaviors when they know they shouldn't be doing it.
Wow.
And when any of us continue to do stuff that we know we shouldn't do, because, I mean, we're smart people.
Yeah.
If we keep doing stuff we know we shouldn't do, there's a deeper issue going on, and that would involve counseling.
Yeah, well, when talking to me, I'll try to avoid saying we're smart people because I don't think I am all the time. But I have a better understanding of this. Melissa Caldwell-Engle, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.